Okay. Okay. The number one, the most important thing to do in sales for interior designers. Here we go. Listen, I get it. I know that sometimes sales can feel a little bit scary. I know that sometimes we can think that sales is like manipulative or sleazy or pushy. And I know that those are not energetics that we want to feel. What I know also, though, is that sometimes not wanting to be that can put us in a place of not wanting to do sales at all. So here's the problem with that, though. If you don't get good at sales, you're not getting good at the most important thing in your business. Sales is the only way you can generate income. So it's really important to get good at it. My vision for you is that you tap into your power when it comes to sales. You tap into the greatness that you have inside of you to lead people into the vision that you have for them. So let's dive in and talk about the 4 things that you can do right now to take that leadership in sales. All right, so we're gonna be counting this down starting at number 4. The most powerful thing that you can do in sales is to deliver your price right then and there in the sales meeting. You know when is not a powerful time for someone to receive your price? When they're at the grocery store with a kid on their hip and a grocery basket that's squeaking wheel, you've been there, and things are falling out and the kid's crying, and then they pull up their phone and see that email come in from you that lists the price in your proposal. That moment, not the best moment for them to be presented with your price. The best moment is when you're in the sales meeting, because that's gonna be the moment when they're most excited to buy what you're selling. And number 3, you may have heard this many times. Your mom probably told you to do this on a date, right? But be yourself. I remember that when I first started out in interior design, I had a new client meeting and a sales meeting, and I went and I was showing up the way I thought they expected me to. I was also showing up the way I thought interior designers should show up. I kind of came with a buttoned up collar, if you will, and came with a very professional kind of attitude. But if you've known me for 15 minutes, you know that that's not my authentic self. Authentic me shows up playful and shows up silly and fun. And what's really cool is that when I show up authentically, playfully, and silly, I'm attracting clients who appreciate playful and silly and want to be playful and silly in return. And what's cool is that I'm able to attract clients who are aligned with me in a way that it's so much fun and it's so joyful to work with them. That joy can only happen when you give your authenticity so that they can give their authenticity, and then the 2 of you or the 3 of you or however many are you can honestly have a human connection. That is such a joyful and beautiful way to enter into that working relationship. And number 2 is be able to clearly explain your value to the client. And so this goes beyond what you offer, what you do, how you work. It goes into what their pain is and how you can absolve them of that and how you can bring them joy and all the great things that only you uniquely can bring them. If you can get clear on that, you can get clear on what your value is, and you can enroll the client into being magnetized to you. And that's what you want in order to land that deal. Now, here's the thing though with that. If you're not clear on what that is, how can you actually provide it? So here's an opportunity that you could take. You can call me, you can jump on my calendar at thedesignershotline.com, and let's role play. We can run through me listening as a potential client and you telling me what your value is. And then we can spitball and we can brainstorm on how you can deliver that with more excellence. I can't wait to see you on my calendar because I know you have a heart to deliver excellence. And the number 1 most important thing for you to do in sales is to take leadership in that meeting. Take leadership. Very, very often in all the designers that I work with, I have seen that often designers say things like, "So what can I do for you?" or things like that pass the leadership to the client. the potential client. Now, what I'm suggesting is that you take leadership of the meeting. And if you can take leadership of the sales meeting, you will therefore be taking leadership over the entirety of the project, because the way you start something is often the way that you continue to do the thing and often the way that you end the thing. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to tap into how you can have leadership energy in the sales meeting. Now, one of the ways I do that is by having a template of the way that I run the sales meeting. So when I walk into the sales meeting, I'm able to say, hey, here's how we're going to do this meeting. And from that first moment, that person knows that I am taking leadership here. And that is going to give them comfort to follow my leadership throughout the entirety of the project. It is so important. If you can nail one thing, you can nail that, you can nail sales. Are you interested in growing sales confidence and growing sales leadership? If you are, and I hope you are, because it's the only way to grow profit, or the most important way to grow profit. But if you are, then I would invite you to join my program, because I have sales training that is the same training I use to land, for example, the $14 million house that I just landed a few months ago. And this is the same sales training that Warren Buffett himself uses for his sales team. So if you would like to see if this program is right for you, why don't we jump on the call together and let's discover and see if it is. You can do that at thedesignershotline.com.